was not passed along to the court. Let me just put it that way. That's evident in the Inspector General's report.
I'll yield the remainder of my time to Mr. Jordan.
Thank the gentleman for yielding. Mr. Attorney General, do you deploy federal law enforcement to enforce federal law?
Yes.
Do you deploy federal law enforcement to protect federal property?
Yes.
Would the federal building in Portland be standing today if you had not deployed federal law enforcement?
I don't think so. There have been multiple attempts to set it afire.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I don't understand why a small contingent of marshals inside the court poses a threat to anybody's First Amendment rights. They set up a fence on federal property, I'm told, around the court, and when people are arrested, it's because they're trying to come into the fence. These aren't peaceful protesters. They bring power tools to cut through the wire and so forth to get in. This is a very strange occupation of a city when you have, 100, 120 federal people behind the fence trying to protect the building, and all these people are trying to cut their way in. That is the occupation of a city.
Thank you. Did the Chicago Fraternal Order of Police president ask for your help?
Who asked for my help?
The head of the FOP in Chicago. Did they ask for your help?
I think he did.
Previous exchange, they talked about Mr. Horowitz's report. Is there anything you'd like to add? You didn't get a chance to respond to that.
Yeah, my understanding of my recollection of the report is it didn't find there was no bias. And he made that clear in subsequent testimony. What he said was he couldn't find no documentary or other evidence demonstrating bias.
Yeah, and what would be helpful if maybe Mr. Horowitz could come in front of this committee and the individual who was raising that concern with you, Mr. Attorney General, could ask Mr. Horowitz himself about what he found in that report and subsequent reports that we have not yet had a hearing on.
The gentleman's time has expired, Mr. Raskin.
Thank you. Sir, did I hear you correctly to say that the purpose of unleashing this federal agent assault with tear gas and rubber bullets and pepper spray on 2,000 nonviolent protesters in Lafayette Square was to secure and defend the St. John's Episcopal Church? Is that the purpose of it?
No, I didn't say that. I made very clear that the purpose was to move the perimeter to High Street, which had been, as far as I'm aware, all day before.
So it was legitimate in that
I'm
case.
talking about the June 1st.
Yeah, the June 1st assault on a lot of people,
It wasn't
including my
an-
constituents, and
Well, it
I
wasn't
have to
a-
bring them to your office to talk
Okay,
about
well,
it.
I don't think it was an assault. They were told by loudspeaker that the park police were preparing to clear H Street, and could they move
Well,
off H Street?
Reclaiming my time, I